Has anyone ever given you an airplane? No, me neither. Hi, this is Lindy Kaiser with ClearanceJobs.com. News alerts from over the weekend are blowing up about Trump's potential plans to accept a luxury Boeing 747-8 jet from the country of Qatar. I always want to say Qatar. It's Qatar, like 90% sure. So a ton of, so many things at play, right? Gifts from a foreign government, the issues with the current Air Force One, which we've actually covered in some capacity. They had some security issues with folks working on that airplane, somewhat ironically. So that's been a bemoaned issue. The current Air Force One program has had issues with Boeing. So again, now this news that, hey, friends in Qatar are sitting on this luxury airliner are potentially planning to gift it to the Trump administration. Is that possible? Well, a president cannot accept personal gifts. So there have been some news reports already around how the Trump administration could potentially accept this. Trump himself could not receive a gift even from a foreign entity. There are specific rules around that. It is a well-known practice to have these foreign dignitaries gift the current president or sitting president things. There were news reports from 2014. The biggest money one I could find was the Saudi Arabian, I think, king at the time, gave $1.4 million worth of jewelry to that current White House. Again, for the president to accept that, they would have to reimburse the government for that. Or again, there are pass-along ways for those gifts to be given to their presidential libraries. That's what it sounds like is happening with this luxury jet. Potentially, it would be on use for the Trump administration. It would get outfitted by Secret Service, become the next Air Force One, and then before Trump left the White House, it would be then given to the presidential library because, again, Trump cannot accept this gift. Again, other rules around that related to foreign countries. Congress could step in to say that, and rule that they are accepting this. Supposedly already, the Department of Justice has weighed in on this and said it's okay. Those are, again, all of our favorite unnamed legal sources. Does any of this really matter to you or I right now? Probably not, because we're not going to accept an airplane. But because we generally are doing these videos for folks in the national security population, it's a good reminder about the federal gifting rules. This one trips me up every time because I love to give people gifts. When I worked for the federal government, I gave gifts to my coworkers one time, and because of rank and all of that, it became a kerfuffle because they were like, hey, really, we don't do that around here. Next time, just make us some snacks, Lindy. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize what the rules were. So if you work in the federal government, federal employees especially are well versed in this, not accepting gifts more than $20 for the average employee. And again, if Trump, if you're watching, thank you for watching. I assume that the average watcher of these security clearance video news updates is the average clearance holder. For you, nobody's giving you an airplane, and if they did, you would have to say no because it's worth over $20. Again, the way this happens, this is unprecedented, the size of this airplane. But for the White House, the president to receive gifts from a foreign country, foreign entity, not necessarily completely unprecedented, but there's a whole host of rules and regulations around that happens. Again, this one I think is going to face a lot more scrutiny because it's not like a pot of honey or a Rolex. It is something that's actually for an intended, government function. So I think that's honestly kind of where the red flags and security flags could show up. And good news here, we're talking about literally the same, Boeing 747 program. They're going to have to run it through U.S. security programs and protocols, I would think. But I have not been following the current issues with Air Force One closely enough to know why that plane is so delayed. But I would guess it's not just as simple as like flying over this luxury airliner and then it becomes the next presidential airplane. Obviously, presidents have security requirements, so we're going to run into all of those with outfitting this new Boeing 747 jet. Again, all of this is speculation, though. By the time this video update comes out, there might be a new update. Again, I think the latest reports were Qatar was not confirming whether or not they were were giving this gift or what was happening around it. So a lot more to come. Again, I think there will be a lot more scrutiny about foreign entity gifts and what is appropriate and what is allowed. Again, for the average federal employee, national security worker, your threshold is a mere $20 per engagement. So shop accordingly. Though it's a low range gift item for the average person who is accepting gifts or receiving any benefit related to their federal government service. So again, for more on this potential Air Force One, I want a tour of the luxury jet. Quite frankly, I'm getting ready to hop on a few planes. They will not be luxury airliners. It'll be very interesting to see what comes of this. Again, but for more on news you can use when it comes to federal gifting rules and all of that, please continue to watch, subscribe, like this channel, and then visit us over at ClearanceJobs.com.